I love it. Then let's keep that energy up and please welcome our incredible guests, Monica Rial and Chris Sabat. Tell me. Here we are. Oh my gosh, you get your own show. This is great. What we've been waiting for this whole time. This is perfect. That means we get to make it a big bit when he walks in, gang. So we'll need your help on that. Perfect, perfect. So in case, I'm getting in the chair.
These are fun, but I also feel like,
yeah, buddy, me too. Me too. Me too. Waiting for it to go down any second now. Yeah. Since anyone just walked in,
yes,
they don't know what's going on.
That's true.
They heard people talking.
That's right.
Who are you? What do you do?
I am Monica Rial. I am the voice of Bulma. I'm also the voice of Tashigi. I'm also the voice of Mine in Fruits Basket. So basically, if this man is in a show, I am probably his wife, his sister, his dog, or his best friend. So it's kind of neat that we get to have this panel together, just the two of us, because it's never happened.
It's so weird. If only he was here, though. If only we could hear his voice. Well, okay. Manifested from the ether, it's Chris Sabat.
So, you know...
Look. Normally, it's Goku that makes everybody wait until everyone's thoroughly annoyed. It's Vegeta's turn.
Congratulations on taking up the mantle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My daughters are with me today, so it's made the day a touch more complicated. So, and they're not here, of course. They don't care.
They don't care about... They're watching One Piece.
No, they're not going to visit this panel, trust me. Like, we see enough of that jerk at home.
As we were saying previously, we were like, you guys have done, I don't know, one or two things, right? So we were encouraging all types of questions outside of Dragon Ball. But I just want to get something, off my chest.
I'm worried.
You should be, you know?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I just want to tell you, honestly, to both of your faces. I don't want to keep that on my chest anymore. And you can boo. Thank you. I've never seen an episode of Dragon Ball. Go ahead.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I just feel like you know, with the big shows, you gotta pick one. I picked One Piece.
I mean, I will say, I get it, because One Piece is the thing right now, but like, that's a lot of episodes.
It was, and I dedicated my time to it. But egg on my face. Look at all these people. You know?
Sure.
So I'm wondering, from the perspective of two people in this very long-running franchise, okay, what do people love about it? What is it about Dragon Ball Z that hooked people, that makes people keep coming back? It's their favorite thing.
You.
Me? Yes. Just, if you don't believe how awesome I am, just ask me. I'm pretty incredible. I believe I'm the main reason that anyone ever watched Dragon Ball to begin with. Okay, I'm kidding. Everyone's really quiet. Man, he might be
I
serious.
think you're realizing how much you are like Vegeta in certain ways.
Man, if anyone could figure out exactly what it is that made Dragon Ball so successful, they should recreate that, because it's been amazing everywhere it goes. It's sort of the kind of the weird alpha that existed forever, and it's still so many stories within stories and relationships, and like so many generations of people. You've got dad and son, and then a second son, and then women that dad's with, and then women that aren't with another character from the first series anymore. Poor Yamcha. He still hangs around though, which is what I find really funny about the show, is that like Yamcha, that's probably the strongest thing he's ever done in the show, is stick around that relationship after it was over. Because Yamcha had every right to be upset, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
You cheated on me in the future!
With you!
Oh, that is true. Weird.
It is a little weird how that worked out. It was kind of fun on that Super Baseball episode, because I was flirting with Yamcha Yamcha to make Vegeta jealous. And I'm like, oh, it's Christopher on both sides. I think for Dragon Ball, the characters are so three-dimensional and they're like real humans. I joke all the time, but I'm like, if you have a really good story with really great characters, you'll watch those characters do anything. You'll watch them clean the house or do laundry because you care about the characters. And I feel like that's where Dragon Ball is now.
You'll want them to go to the beach.
I love a beach
because apparently
episode.
everyone likes a beach episode. Whatever happened to Marin? Poor thing. Resurrection M. There we go. Next movie, bring Marin back. Marin versus Launch. Yeah.
There you go. Marin versus.
I would be into that.
Since you
Yeah,
guys,
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, oh boy, do I! Man, I love when they did that together. That's one of my favorites. I can't get enough of that stuff.
Dude, I'm really glad you at least admitted this at the beginning.
See?
Because I've been on a lot of panels where it's very clear the person who's moderating has not watched it at all.
No.
And it's really funny to watch them go like, so in the thing that you guys like are so great, and I love the. Why don't you say it?
Yeah, that one time you did that thing, that was cool. What was that?
Tell us about it.
There was one time, Sean Schimmel, the guy who plays Goku, we were in this one thing in Australia, and in the middle of it, he goes, you haven't even seen the show. Clearly you have not seen the show. She goes, yeah, I have. He goes, no, you have not. Name me one character in the show. It was, the panel got really weird after that.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. I find every time consistently. I just love, like, everyone has titles that they cling to and stuff, but you two, congrats, traverse many titles.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, like, I hate to say, like, do you ever get sick of it? Because the answer maybe has to be no, but rather, how do you keep it fresh? For you've been doing this, even together for like a really long time, even though of course you work separate in the booth, but like, there are days and you're like, here I go again. How do you trick your mind into being like, focus up, here we go, gotta do it again?
For me, there are days where, yeah, you wake up and like anyone who has any job, there's time to you wake up
Right.
and like, it's particularly hard to be voice acting or acting at all when your phone's going off or there's something happening in your life or you've had family things that have happened and they're just things that are on your mind. And there's two things that keep you going. One, the shows, once you jump in there, you're kind of in that world. So you're just like you all have used these shows to escape things in your lives that have been traumatic and things that you would rather not think about at that moment. You've escaped into Dragon Ball. That's what we're able to do in some of these things too. And then whenever I get really frustrated, I go, this is the best job in the world.
Yeah.
And so I really can't, I have no right to get frustrated. People come up and go, thank you, Chris, for staying here so long today. And I'm like, it's not the hardest job to sit here all day and have people compliment you constantly. Chris, you're awesome, thank you, here's some money. I'm like, all right. So the least I can do is stay, I guess, if I must. But I really, by the way, all of you who do come support us at the tables and things like that, I do want you to understand it is very, very appreciated. It's a long story, but anime never paid much of anybody anything. And so what you all are able to do is helping us, put our kids in a school or like, we did not think a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Give yourselves a round of applause for that, y'all. I feel that, yeah.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
I love that. Very good answer. What about you? What do you do?
I think that Chris really hit the nail on the head when he was talking about the escapism. Because yeah, just like you guys, if you're having a bad day or you got cut off in traffic and you want to murder everyone, sometimes just getting in a booth and yelling at a bunch of Saiyans for a few hours will make you feel A-okay. Or Mary Leona from Black Clover is one of my favorite. I call her my free therapy because like you go in there, just yell at everybody and scream. It's wonderful because then you walk out and you can't help but be delightful. Like you've murdered 100 people. Like
You release it.
That's not how it works for me. Man, people can tell when I've been voicing Vegeta.
Really?
Oh, dude, I am just angry afterwards.
It's
Because it hurts. It physically hurts. And I leave the booth and I'm just drained and angry. Yeah.
I can see that.
Young
a
Chuck
little
in
bit.
a great mood, because nothing ever happens to him. He's fine.
He's great.
And before I open it up to questions, as it is obvious, these people will ask better questions than I ever could possibly
Yeah,
imagine.
because they've actually watched this show.
Maybe, give or take one or two,
Yeah.
you know? But we
what?
this, I always get a little choked up.
Don't
That's fine.
get choked up.
Things are
You're
cute.
sad that you don't get to talk anymore? You have to
I do love
let
to
people
gab.
ask questions?
You got me.
Okay.
As much as we love the characters that you guys voice, you don't fill up a room just on that. You fill up a room because people love you, right? And that's just the truth of it.
Or they're bored.
Their feet are killing
They
them.
want to sit in this air conditioning.
So I'd love to do a little bit of nonsense, just so we can learn a bit about you.
Sure.
So I'd love to know, what's the best thing that you bought this year for yourself? I'm making a shopping list. That was maniacal.
This is my evil laugh. You're not supposed to hear that.
What did you buy for yourself?
I was thinking about you.
What didn't I buy for myself?
I mean.
We've had really good answers so far. So I can't wait to see him.
So I love this man. We are like family. He's met my whole family pretty much. But somebody has to bring him down a rung every once in a while, just like a sibling. I have to poke at him. So he bought himself a Cybertruck.
See, after it was booing, after it was cheering, but the people who were cheering, they're scared because the booers are really
Oh, incredible. Wow.
So there is a TikTok. Have you guys seen the old Saturday Night Live skit where it's the three sisters and then Kristen Wiig comes out, she's got the tiny hands and looks crazy? So there was a TikTok where it showed, a really nice Tesla charging, another really nice Tesla charging, another Tesla, and then it moves over to the Cybertruck and it's like, and I saw it and I couldn't stop laughing and I'm like, I'm gonna send it to Chris.
Oh, you did?
And
Everybody sends me their Cybertruck memes. Look, guys,
we love you.
when I pre-ordered that truck 4 years ago, that was long before Elon Musk was purchasing social media networks. And it seemed like a pretty cool idea then. But when 4 years later, you're like, I don't even know about this. It's kind of like, you know that feeling when you've waited 3.5 hours in somebody's line, or 4 years, and then you're almost to the end, you're like, maybe I won't do this. But you have to now. You don't have a choice. You've waited that long. I've got to at least go through with it. But on the plus side, at least, my oldest daughter loves the truck. She wants to drive in the truck constantly. And I'm saying that sarcastically because I think she is in this room somewhere, probably dying a little bit on the inside. It is funny, I never imagined I would have a car that somebody that I'm related to doesn't actually want to be seen in. She's like, Dad, can we just not drive in that car? It's like, okay, fine, we'll Uber it somewhere, I guess. We'll walk.
That's sensational.
Yeah, it was an obnoxious purchase, and I am getting a little tired of it, if I'm being completely honest, because it is, the beautiful thing about being a voice actor is you're kind of anonymous. People don't, unless you go into a GameStop or a grocery store.
Right.
Or TSA or something. No one else knows who you are. Except when you're a Cybertruck, people just come up and knock on the window and hey, tell me everything that's wrong with your car. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this. My kids are right here.
That's so invasive.
It is. It's weird.
Why would somebody feel like they were?
I don't know.
Especially in Texas, I'd be afraid to get shot.
Trust me.
And
It's
I'm
been
from
pretty.
Texas. I'm from Texas, and I would be afraid to be shot.
I love it. Well, that went better already than I could have ever possibly imagined.
We were going through a tractor one time, and it was like this horde of zombies came towards us. And it's like people, mostly kids or whatever, they all came toward, and they were talking so loudly at the speaker, they couldn't hear our order. It was getting so obnoxious. We were kind of getting frustrated that we were happy to pull away. And then they started coming from the other direction. And one of them was like, can I get a ride home? And we're like, no. Why do you ask that? That's so weird. Okay, sorry.
Fantastic, no.
So that's not necessarily the purchase I was the most proud of. The purchase I'm most proud of is I bought a sink that's Wi-Fi enabled that I can say, Alexa, ask Moen to fill me up 4 cups of water, and it does it. It's pretty cool.
You got the assistant.
Not nearly as cool as Cybertruck, but I like it.
I love that.
No, his house is really cool. It's the
Smart house.
Yeah, it is a smart house. He is the guy you call whenever you have an issue with anything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, acoustics, technology, any of it. Sabat is the guy.
There you go. Okay.
So, I get that. But,
I like it. Congrats on your cyber house.
No, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
of course.
I don't know that I've bought anything exciting thus far this year. Maybe I'll buy some. No, I'm not buying a Cybertruck.
Buy my Cybertruck.
Yeah, if I could paint it pink and put Hello Kitty on the side.
I would throw that in for you.
But even then, I don't think I can handle it. No, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to be on the lookout. I'm trying to not spend this. We just bought a house, so I'm trying to.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's
But they're expensive now, if you haven't heard. And if you live here in Dallas, they're way more expensive than we used to be.
Mhm.
Like even just 2 years ago, so yay.
You treated yourself to a house.
I treated myself to a house.
There you go.
That was my purchase. So here we go.
I love it.
Very responsible
I tried.
of you.
And then I always love asking any actor this. Just favorite media currently. It can be music, movie, TV. What are we loving right now?
You know what? And actually, this ties into you too. Billie Eilish has a new album out that I really, really liked, and I have to give it to this man. He called me one day because he was going to an art gallery, and he's like, "There's supposed to be some kind of musician, something. You want to come with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go." So we go to this art gallery, and there's like, like Kroger cheese plates and stuff. But the art was fantastic. But then we sit down for the performance, and it's this tiny little stage. There was maybe 30 people there in total. And out walks Billie Eilish and Phineas. This is before they blew up. She was in a Louis Vuitton onesie, and she was sick as can be. And that girl opened her mouth, and I was like, that girl is gonna be famous, because her voice is amazing.
She was actually on a tour with her brother at the time. And so it was the guy who owned the gallery got a handful of people together that said, if we can get X amount of money together,
Was that
we
it?
can get her to perform there.
That explains the cheese plate.
Yeah. We spent way too much money to get her there, but it was probably one of the best things I've ever
Oh,
heard. It was
so
amazing.
cool.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
a very cool. Well, now she never has to perform in front of a Kroger cheese plate again.
I mean.
It's amazing.
But it was a really great experience, but her new album is really great if you haven't heard it.
What about you?
You should check Billie Eilish out if you've never heard of her. So, man, I am on my, there's two things right now. I am on my 197th run of Hero, what is it? It's Hades. I love Hades. I'm excited about the next one. And Helldivers I've been playing as often as
I love it. Two great pools. Very nice. My friends, I'd love to invite you up. We're going to get through as many as we can. Keep those elbows down. Can someone assist my beautiful friend? Just a little. You know what? No, don't even worry about it. I'm on my way. More core.
Oh, I love it.
Chris, this question is for you. Do you like being Vegeta better or All Might?
Ooh, gosh. That's a tough question to answer. Look, Vegeta is like God status, literally. He's a Super Saiyan God now. And he is the character that changed everything in my entire life. Like, for the past 25 years, I've been working on that character, and I'm still working on that character. So there's a very special place on my shelf for Vegeta. He's like front and center, the top shelf. However, he's very painful on my voice. Like, just speaking as Vegeta hurts. All Might has been this character that I feel like has combined all the skills I've assimilated from all the other shows I've worked on to get to play All Might. And All Might reminds me of the importance of being a father and passing on skills to your kids, even if it's just being able to fart on command. It's important to pass skills on to your children, and I don't know what I'm gonna pass on to them yet because they don't like any of the stuff that I do, but it's just such a fun show for me to work on, and it makes me cry a lot more than other shows. Thank you so much.
Good question.
I have two questions.
What?
One is, out of every fight scene in Dragon Ball, which one's your favorite?
Majin Vegeta versus Goku. Hands down. Here, here. Bunch of Vikings just held up their glasses there.
I mean, I just want to fight, y'all. My husband calls Bulma the Iron Man of Dragon Ball, and I have to agree. Like, just make the mech, girl. Make the mech. Let's go fight. She's getting there. She's getting more sassy as we go on. But I'm gonna say, just because of how beautiful it was, I really liked the fight at the end of the Broly movie.
Yeah.
It was so cool and psychedelic and weird, and I loved every minute of it.
My second question is, out of every character in Dragon Ball, which one would you pick to be like your best friend?
Best friend.
Best friend.
I mean, I'd say Bulma because she has the most money, and she certainly isn't going to pay for anything.
Not for you.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably hang out with Corin. He's a bean dealer, and if you eat the beans, if you're feeling bad, it makes you feel real good. And if you're almost dead, you eat one, and you're back to full health. He seems like it's a nice place.
Yeah,
Too.
that's not bad. I think Bulma's on the right track with Whis. I think Whis would be a lot of fun. He likes food. He's whimsical. He can take you anywhere you want to go. And now that we know that he's stronger, you're safe, even from mean guys. I dig it. I like Whis.
Good questions.
Good question.
Thank you, Miles.
Is it okay if I ask you as well?
I will say, my friends, it's my fault because I didn't mention it. Please pick your favorite one. Thank you so much.
Alice, my favorite? What is your favorite character you guys have voiced ever in your career?
This is a hard one. Yeah. I suck at this one.
Yeah, it's weird when you have there's a lot, and I have a lot of fun working on Black Clover because Yami makes me laugh all the time. He's such a funny character, and I've got to get this out of my head. I'm so ADHD. If you put Vegeta or Goku on the left-hand side of that thing over there, blasting in that direction, does it not look like someone's shooting like a power blast into that tree? I'm sorry. It just... Anyway, someone on the internet needs to like Photoshop that in there.
You know exactly what to do, everyone.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, hey, what's up? Do you have a question?
Good luck.
Sword style.
Yes, you didn't pick one.
Oh.
Just say all of them.
No.
All the ones you're opposite me.
I had a ton of fun working on this show called Pop Team Epic, too. That was super fun. I like the weird shows.
Yeah, the weird shows are fun. I like, I can't pick. I'm a Libra. I'm really bad at that part. But I will say, I think I've told you guys, the ones that you spend the most amount of time with, obviously we're closer to. Simuldubs are so quick nowadays that if you ask me about shows we did 10 years ago, I can tell you all about the experience, what happened behind the scenes. But like shows I did 3 months ago, I don't even remember my character's name because it's so fast.
Yeah.
But I will say, yeah, I had a lot of fun in Black Clover. I call Mara Leona my free therapy, and I always say she's as close as I will ever get to playing Vegeta. So it's my version of Vegeta. But yeah, and we get to play opposite each other in a lot of stuff, which is a lot of fun too. I'm always happy when I hear him on the other side. So
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Actually, this is a perfect lead up because my question is, considering you guys have done so many different anime together, do you have any like in jokes that follow you from like series to series, or like fun in the booth where you guys are laughing together and making jokes?
The word honey means a totally different thing to us now than it ever did in the past. I can say that.
Yep. And if you want to know what the end, why, you just need to watch Yona of the Dawn.
Yes.
And the 4 people in here that have watched it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But no, it was really exciting recently.
That's
Rest in
fine.
peace.
Rest in peace for my homies.
Look at it.
I had always wanted to be a part of Fruits Basket, but it started before I was working at Funimation. I started at AEV. And when it came back around, Caitlin Glass had the opportunity. I worked with Amber Cotton, who was the original VA for Mine. We worked on a commercial gig together. And so she had gone to Caitlin and was like, hey, what about Monica? And so I went in to record, and I was like, oh yeah, Mine is, oh yeah. So it's me and Chris again! Woo!
Yeah. We are opposite of one another in a lot of shows. I'm trying to think of all of them, but like Elfman and Fairy Tale.
One Piece, I'm chasing after you everywhere.
That's true.
And I'm your friend that's gone. That's not a spoiler.
Friend that's gone. Yeah.
Your bestie.
That was vague.
Well, because I don't know who's watched One Piece and I don't want to ruin anything. What else? Fruits Basket, Speedgrapher.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about Speedgrapher. Did any of you watch Speedgrapher?
Hey, it's a good show. It's
I
older.
watched that show about a month ago, ironically.
It's really good, right?
I didn't know that was both of you.
Yeah. I'm a goddess.
Love it, thank you, Fan.
Thanks.
My daughter and I have watched Dragon Ball Z and Super as a bonding experience. It's been amazing. On rewatches, one of the things that always brings a tear to her eye is when Vegeta breaks down on Namek. It just, for whatever reason, gets her. My question to both of you, across all of your corpus of experience, what is the most emotionally wrenching scene you've had to do?
There's so many that come to mind. The main ones that I can think of, there's a show called Death Parade.
Sounds
So
like
you
a good
heard of
show.
it. So Death Parade's a great show because as far as the actors at Funimation at that time, each episode pits two people up against each other to kind of figure out who's good and bad. And it kind of was like every actor at Funimation got their chance to be one of the people pretty much. And so it's kind of like a who's who of Funimation. But I was in an episode opposite Ian Sinclair, and he played kind of a homebody, and I was this outgoing woman with children who was just awful. But at the end, they're both just breaking down, and my woman, like in the Japanese, you know when they have the snot strings and stuff, like she is just wailing. So I went all out. I was like, you know what? If that's what let's just go to 15 and have them bring me back. And apparently I was so loud that the producer's office was next door, and they heard me, and they were coming in to make sure that I was okay. And I'm like, I'm okay, I was just really into it. But yeah, that one was pretty emotional, because it's very rare where your character is not on screen, and you're having to match the flaps, and you can just let loose. That's really exciting. What about you?
Nah, I don't really get that emotional. All joking aside, there was a scene in My Hero Academia that really got me when All Might was talking to Midoriya's mom, and he's like bowing down to her, saying that I'm now going to protect your son. That scene just like got to me. But there's so many scenes in My Hero get to me. Like I have to choke back tears quite a bit. Although now that I'm watching One Piece, I think the saddest thing I have ever seen is in kind of Water 7 and his lobby where Usopp, the situation with Usopp and Luffy and all that stuff. My daughters and I were sitting there bawling for actually my oldest daughter and I were sitting there bawling for a solid hour over the course of 3 episodes. My youngest daughter was going like, what are y'all doing? What's the deal? And I was emotionally wrecked by it. Like I'm sure this happens to many of you guys, but One Piece is this show that's been fascinating to me because I only lived that show through the life of Zoro's eyes, which was really not much. There's so much else happening in that show. It's made me want to go back and watch everything now. So.
Thank you so much.
Question for Chris.
Yes.
So you voiced both Piccolo and Vegeta. Do you ever feel like awkward when they were talking to each other? You felt, hey, I'm just talking to myself.
Well, to keep that awkward feeling at bay, I usually record all of Vegeta first, and then I record all of Piccolo second, just to make sure that one gets out of the way before the other. the only time I found myself jumping between characters was just for fun during the Garlic Jr. saga. Remember that?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you brought it up!
The Garlic Jr. saga, which was just kind of a throwaway saga anyway, but I was Mr. Popo and Kami in all of those scenes. And I used to try my best to jump between those two characters, which was fun.
Yeah. And just one thing, I watched all of Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super span of 1 month.
What?
Oh!
Congratulations!
There you go.
Well done, my
That's a
friend.
feat.
That's a lot. I watched the entire Succession season, like all of Succession over one weekend. I don't know, that drained me. Yeah.
Hello, friend.
Hi. Right now with Netflix doing these live action Japanese live actions, do you think we're ever going to get another chance at a live action DBZ?
Another chance?
And if they asked you to do the dub version for their voices in English, would you do them like how they did Caitlin Glass to do Winry for Full Metal Alchemist?
I mean, I don't turn down jobs unless they're gross. So, yeah, of course. And I don't know. I think, I don't know why they would want to do another live action Dragon Ball, because the last one they did was perfect.
It doesn't exist.
I have seen that.
It's flawless. It's so good. You know, I
You should
do.
watch that one. That's what you should
Oh, I don't you worry, I've seen it. Phenomenal stuff. Just
Really, it's the core. If you want to know Dragon Ball, watch that. I do think, though, with as successful as One Piece has been already, and although I will say it was definitely a magical roll of the dice because there have been a lot of other anime that haven't performed as well. I think there's always a shot for another Dragon Ball. I think if the people over at Toei talk to the other people over at Toei who are making the same shows, they'd be like, let's try it. How about that? That's what they sound like in Japan.
all of them.
Yeah, hey, let's try it.
Really low voices. It's great.
But yeah, I think exactly what you said. But I think what's so great about the One Piece live action and the reason it works so well is the casting. Like whoever cast that show was spot on. That young actor that plays Luffy, you can't hate him. There's no way. Like he's so perfect. He's just so sweet. So I feel like any show could do well if you have the right casting. And I think also too, a lot of the anime adaptations have tried to be so on the nose, like shot for shot. And I think sometimes that's just not feasible because it's a completely different world with live action. So I feel like if they don't try to do it shot for shot exactly like the anime, I feel like that's where people get more upset. Is it's like, well, it doesn't look like the anime and you're obviously trying. So at least do a little bit of something of your own, you know? It'd be fun to see it. I would totally show up for a dub of it. But unfortunately right now it's kind of like the Wild West with licensing. So I know that a lot of the anime companies are trying to keep the same casts and stuff, but like Netflix and the big companies don't always care. So hopefully they'll learn and they'll keep us all together, because that would be really weird if there was somebody else.
I'd love to see a live action Dragon Ball series that's kind of along what she's talking about, where they don't necessarily follow the story. And I think it'd be great if it was just like Vegeta and Yamcha and Bulma living in like an apartment together. And it'd be
You
super.
included me! I would
Yeah.
totally be a part of that show.
100%. You could not be a part of that show.
Sure. Sorry, bestie.
It's just like Vegeta and Bulma are in their room and Yamcha's just outside going like, this is awkward.
It's okay, he's got poor.
Thank you, my friend. We got about 5 minutes left, my friends. We'll try to get through 2 more.
Yeah, hi, there's a question for Chris. You were on the Adult Swim with John Bellion, the song, and I was just curious, like the recording experience differences between like anime versus music.
Oh my God, that was one of the coolest things of my entire life. I was told by the president of Funimation's son, came up to me, he's like, hey man, I'm a really big fan of John Bellion, and I was talking to him, and he's a really big fan of anime, and he wanted to see if you wanted to do something on his album. I'm like, really, for real? Okay. And so he flew me to New York, and I went to the studio where he was recording that album. And the recording session itself only took a couple of hours. It wasn't that much. But the best part of it was that he had gotten closer to the end of the album at that point. And so we just got to sit in this beautiful studio where he was recording. It was actually Billy Joel's old studio. It's an amazing studio, and we just listened to the entire album together. And it was incredible. And he is the nicest, best human being, and more talented than, like, the most talented musician I've ever met. He's incredible. It's so genuine.
Awesome.
Very cool. Great question, man. All right, my friends, this will be our last one.
Lucky. Question for Chris. This is a One Piece question, kind of. The way how Zoro is, you know, this be one of the most skillful swordsmen of all anime. Like, what character would you like to see him battle most in other anime universes? If that makes sense.
Repeat part of that. I got touched, distracted.
Okay, I mean, like, what's for Zoro being one of the most skillful, like, swordsmen, what's other swordsmen in other animes would you like to see him battle the most?
I'd love he and Yami to battle swords together. Let's see who else. I'd like him to battle Trunks. With literally anybody with a sword, I would like to see Zoro fight.
How about Tashigi?
It's okay.
I hope we fight.
We're gonna see Tashigi. I hope. Thank you, good question. I think we can take one more question.
Yeah, I love to lie, so I was lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd love to get one more.
Yes, this little person.
So I heard you have 2 daughters. Which one is your favorite?
Great question. And you have to answer legally.
Oh man.
Is the other one?
I can tell you which one it is right now.
No.
You're not allowed to pick a favorite child. Just
You were in so much trouble.
I know.
High five here, though. High five.
You are not allowed to pick a favorite child, just like you're not allowed to pick a favorite anime character. People ask me that all the time. But that's a really, really good question that we might be able to discuss later at some point.
And we're all dying to know the answer, right? So just make sure you tweet about that. We don't have to see the final answer.
But he did tell us how much you love the Cybertruck.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my daughter here.
Yay, daughter!
And now she's gonna die. Now she's gonna run away.
Wait, are you doing a casual Usopp?
You are adorable.
She is casual Usopp. She's actually cosplaying as Usopp from Thriller Bark. You can't see her whole costume, but it's amazing.
10 out of 10. I love it. Everyone, can we please give it up one more time, mostly for Chris Sabat's daughter, and then also Chris Sabat.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great rest of your day, y'all. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for making that time, and thank you all for your fabulous questions.